Recently, Tyler Reddick won the NASCAR Cup Series race at Michigan International Speedway in a dramatic fashion. The race took place over 2 days with many challenges and intense moments on the track. It was especially emotional for Reddick because just days before the race, his mentor, Scott Bloomquist, passed away in a plane crash. Reddick dedicated his victory to Bloomquist, who had played a significant role in his racing career. The race itself was full of surprises. On Sunday, when the race started, Tyler Reddick was not in a strong position. He moved from 6th place to 20th place, which made it seem unlikely that he would win. But Reddick and his team didn't give up. They kept working on their strategy and made adjustments to the car, hoping to find the speed that they needed. The race was paused and resumed on Monday morning, and this is when things started to turn around for Reddick. When the race restarted on Monday, he quickly showed that he was fast again. His car was moving quickly, and by the end of the race, it was clear that he had the fastest car on the track. However, it wasn't an easy path to victory. NASCAR officials made a decision during the race that almost cost Reddick the win. Near the end of the race, Martin Truex Jr. hit the wall, which led to NASCAR issuing a yellow flag. At this point, Reddick had a big lead and seemed to be on his way to winning the race. The yellow flag meant that the race would go into overtime, forcing Reddick to fight for the win again. Reddick was not happy about the yellow flag. He expressed his frustration over the radio, feeling that Truex Jr. had not caused enough damage to warrant the flag. Reddick's lead was now at risk, and he had to prepare for the overtime restart. Despite his anger, Reddick kept his focus and managed to stay ahead in the final laps. He crossed the finish line first, securing his victory in Michigan. After the race, Reddick took a moment to remember Scott Bloomquist. Bloomquist had been a mentor to Reddick and had a significant impact on his career. Reddick's early years in racing were spent working on dirt tracks, and it was during this time that he met Bloomquist. The loss of Bloomquist just days before the race made the victory even more meaningful for Reddick.
I can't help but sit here in victory lane and think of Scott Bloomquist, man. Huge mentor to me, an incredible role model and legend of dirt racing and motorsports. So the last couple of days have been tough, and this really helps it. And so this win, I think, should go for him and his family, his friends, and all that meant a lot to him.
This win was not just another trophy for Reddick. It was a tribute to a man who had helped shape him as a driver and a person. The race in Michigan was a true test of Reddick's skill and determination. He faced challenges from other drivers, tricky weather conditions, and a controversial decision by NASCAR officials. But in the end, Reddick's focus and dedication paid off. He managed to overcome all obstacles and secure a win that he will remember for the rest of his life. Bubba Wallace had a tough race at the Firekeepers Casino 400, which took place at Michigan International Speedway. Wallace was involved in a collision during the race, which was not his fault, but it still affected his performance. Despite this, Wallace remained positive and was happy for his teammate Tyler Reddick, who won the race. Wallace's reaction showed his support for Reddick, even though he was not in the best mood after finishing in 26th place on Monday. Wallace's 26th place finishing was disappointing, especially since he is now just 1 point away from the playoff cut line. Ross Chastain is ahead of him by only 1 point, and Wallace has 2 more races to try and secure a spot in the playoffs. Wallace's situation is also complicated by Austin Dillon's appeal, which is scheduled for Wednesday. Depending on the outcome, Wallace's standing in the playoffs could change. Even with all these challenges, Wallace plans to celebrate with Reddick and then focus on the upcoming race at Daytona next weekend. The Daytona race is crucial for Wallace, as it will be one of his last chances to improve his position before the playoffs. He knows that he needs to be at his best to make it in the playoffs, and in addition to Wallace's struggles, the race in Michigan also saw an accident between Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott. The two drivers collided on the last lap of the race, which caused them both to finish lower than expected. Blaney, who had won Stage 1 of the race on Sunday, was on track to finish in the top 5, but the collision with Elliott during overtime changed everything. Blaney ended up finishing in 18th place, while Elliott finished in 15th. After the race, Blaney explained that Elliott had lost control of his car and slipped up the track, which led to the contact. Both drivers were disappointed with the outcome, but they're also friends off the track. They'll likely discuss the incident and move on as they prepare for the upcoming races at Daytona and Darlington. For Elliott, the focus is on winning the regular season crown, but the collision at Michigan made that goal harder to achieve. He's now 10 points behind Tyler Reddick, and if he had finished 5th instead of 15th, the race for the regular season crown would be much closer. With only 2 races remaining, Elliott and Blaney are both determined to finish strong and secure their positions in the playoffs. Blaney's gap of 82 points from the lead is significant and nearly impossible to close at this stage of the season. With only 4 drivers still in contention for the regular season crown, the focus is on those at the top of the standings. Tyler Reddick currently leads, with Chase Elliott trailing by 10 points, Denny Hamlin by 28, and Kyle Larson, who had a crash during the race, by 32 points. Larson's crash, which happened after he started the weekend 5 points ahead as the leader, was a significant setback. Ryan Blaney, on the other hand, is in a close race for 5th place overall. William Byron is only 4 points behind him, while Christopher Bell is 29 points away. The competition for these positions is fierce because every spot higher in the standings can make a big difference in the playoffs. Starting in the top 5 can help drivers avoid trouble in the crucial round of 16, where even a small mistake can end their championship hopes. One of the most dramatic moments of the race was the flip of Corey LaJoie's car. While battling with Noah Gragson for a spot in the top 20, LaJoie's car collided, skidded sideways, and flipped over. This was the second flip of the racing weekend, following Kyle Sieg's crash in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race on Saturday. LaJoie's flip happened near the NBC booth, and even though his car's roof and hood flaps deployed as they should have, the speed was too much and the car flipped over. NASCAR officials will likely review this incident carefully because such flips are a serious safety concern. LaJoie was able to quickly lower his window net after the crash, signaling that he was okay, but the flip itself was alarming. Jeff Burton and Steve Letarte, who were commenting on the race, were shocked by the crash and expressed their concerns about the safety of the cars. They pointed out that while the crash was unexpected, the car should not have flipped in that manner. Dale Earnhardt Jr. also shared his thoughts on the incident. He discussed the issue of cars flipping in NASCAR and acknowledged that while it's an unpleasant aspect of the sport, it's also a reality of racing at high speeds. Earnhardt agreed with Kenny Wallace's view that the car's flat underside creates a platform for air to lift the car and cause it to flip. In response to the incident, Earnhardt suggested that instead of focusing solely on the flip itself, people should also consider how well the car's safety features worked. The roof of LaJoie's car held up under the stress of the crash, and LaJoie himself praised NASCAR for providing a safe car. While it may not be possible to eliminate flips entirely from the sport, minimizing the harm they do to drivers is a priority. These crashes are terrifying to watch, but the fact that LaJoie could walk away from the incident without serious injury is an example to the advancements in safety that NASCAR has made over the years. And that's all for today's episode. Don't forget to give this video a like and also subscribe to the channel while you're down there.